Hello guys, what's going down? It's MC Noble here. Welcome back to another stream. Today we're going to be doing my thoughts on my last gig, which was Alliance, the Christmas Stomp. Now, I know I haven't put any videos up yet on YouTube of what the gig was like. I took some pretty long videos on my phone and I've got to go through and trim them to get some good clips for you guys, obviously on YouTube. But it's been a couple of days now since the event. We've certainly had time to get over all the excitement of the event, and we're almost nearly a week ago since the event, so I thought this was the right time to go ahead and really tell you guys what I thought about this event. And if I'm gonna be completely true, I'm gonna be truthful with this event. I'm gonna be truthful. I'm gonna be very, very sort of I guess not harsh, but I am going to be truthful, but not necessarily in a bad way. But what my personal opinion is about these Alliance events is they need to be organised a slight bit better. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and start totally dissing this event, because it's a really good event. I had a lot of fun playing at this event and I cannot wait to play for them again in the future. However, there is just a few things that they could do to work on as an event. And I know it's obviously not easy. I don't plan events. I don't promote events. I obviously realise a lot of work goes into it, but I don't exactly know how much work goes into it, as I don't obviously promote events myself. But the first thing is probably probably the least worst thing, but at the same time it could have done to have been touched up on, and this was probably the flyer. Now, as you can see, you've got all these people that are going B2B, and you can see that underneath there's some smaller names, there's some bigger names, and it doesn't say MC on the flyer. Now, not everybody who comes to a rave event is going to know every single person on the lineup. So for example, you can kind of, in a way, with my set where I am with Dave Fallows and Franks, you can kind of get the gist that I am that I'm an MC, Freestyle's an MC, Sniper's an MC. However, you go to Swag B2B Denny, you don't know if Denny's an MC or if Denny's just another DJ. Now, the same with Sweely, New Flow, and B2B, New Flow CJ. Now, for all people could know, the DJ is called New Flow CJ. There should, in my opinion, the CJ should have been made a little bit smaller, like the Freestyle, Noble and Sniper writing, and they should have put CJ, MC CJ. And the same here as well. We got Jenksy B2B, we got Jenksy Lily B2B Acid, or is it Jenksy and Lily B2B Acid? So in my personal opinion, we got Excite B2B Mania. So in my personal opinion, in my personal opinion, I think there should have been more indication as to who was the DJs, who was the MCs. Now, what I really liked about the last poster is they had the DJs and then they had the MCs. So what they kind of done is, on this poster, they've kind of in a way put what MCs are going with what DJ, rather than just what MCs are at the event. Rather, in my personal opinion, I prefer it when there's a separate list for the MCs, but it wasn't really too much of an issue. It didn't affect really anything about the event. Now, the second sort of thing that I would recommend to the event, or to someone like for something like Alliance, is they do need to plan the set times and the lineups a little bit better. Now, when I did my first set, there was a few different people jumping on and off, and there's a lot of people within beforehand who decide that they can no longer make this event, or decide that they're not going to make it. So I think within planning an event and thinking, look, you know, we're going to have this event coming up, I think really they need to plan a little bit more properly as to who they're going to have on the lineup, because a lot of times people back out. It was the same with the last event. But the last event, as far as set times went, seemed to somewhat go quite a lot smoother. Now, like I say, when I jumped on the first set because Stevie C could no longer make it, and that was the same with Steel. So the first set was free, and someone else came in, apparently was a bounce DJ, and in my set there was about 3 different DJs that switched between playing bounce, and then someone, DJ Swag, as you can see, who was B2B with Denny, basically this Swag jumped on through my first set and dropped some hardcore. That was all fine and good, you know, I enjoyed the hardcore and stuff like that, but there was no indication. Originally I was on a set with classic hardcore, and my set started with bounce. Now, I don't mind bounce, you know, I love bounce. I mix it on Forever Young Radio. I've got nothing against bounce. You know, I love a bit of bounce music, but a lot of things that get said in the beginning are a lot different when you actually get to the event. So I think they need to work on like the set times a little bit more, because it's just DJs jumping on, and to be honest, throughout the night I didn't really have a Scooby-Doo whose set was who. And when I finished MCing, there was a guy who took on after me, and then there was a guy who jumped on in like a white t-shirt with a hat, and he basically MC'd more or less right till near my last set, like the same MC. And I thought there was supposed to be different MCs on like different sets, and I just, in my personal opinion, my personal experience, I just got a little confused as to who was who, and who was doing what, apart from like some of the people who I knew. Like I know who New Flow is, I know who CJ is, but what I'm saying, like going back to the flyer, is not everybody is going to know that this CJ MCs, especially when it doesn't say MC next to his name, if that makes sense. But in my personal opinion, that is really all that was really, it wasn't letting the event down as such, but going forward to promoting and doing events in the future, they definitely need to work on their like time and like set times a little bit more to make the night go smoother. Because, you know, you have a set time, some people come to events to see Pacific people on the flyer. Like, you know, I don't like to big myself up or anything, but there could have been people, say for example, on the who come to the event, you know, to see me. There could have been people that come to see New Flow's set, and when there's just random people jumping, you know, on and off the set, it might not always necessarily look that good. But other than that, the music, the atmosphere, the people that were there mixing, the MCs that were there MCing, created a really, really good vibe. It started off quite empty. The club was quite empty. My first set was quite dead. There was only like a few people that come in, and then after my set, it sort of it was dead for a bit. It sort of was dead to the point where we were starting to think maybe it's just not really going to be that much of a busy night. And then my friend Freestyle came to do his set. He was coming a bit later on, and when he came, sort of not long after then, more people started to arrive, and to be fair, it got fairly busy towards the end of the night. But it was a good night. It was a really, really wicked night as far as like everything went. Like I say, even though I was supposed to do classic hardcore, I ended up over like bounce and then like more like UK sort of newer hardcore. I still really enjoyed the set. It was really, really good, as far as the sets go. I had a really good time. It was nice to see everybody. Came down in a Christmas jumper, wore the Christmas jumper for the first set, and then for my second set I actually wore a stomping t-shirt, because we were actually doing a stomping set from the stomping events in Hull, because Dave Fallows and Franks were doing the DJing, but Dave Fallows actually didn't turn up because he actually caught the man flu, which, to be fair, I think I'm getting a bit of cold again myself. And so it was just Franks, and then we still had Freestyle and Sniper, obviously, but we all wore our stomping gear to represent stomping from back up in Hull. And everything like that was absolutely wicked. Now, as far as the flyer goes, again, I really like the way they used the like our lineup names are kind of like inside of a Christmas cracker. I thought that was kind of quite I thought that was quite cleverly done, to like, for a Christmas flyer, that the names of actually like who are on the lineup have actually come out of a Christmas cracker. I thought that was quite good, but the whole sort of flyer itself just has a very Christmassy feel, but at the same time it still sort of has a very ravey feel. So like you could kind of in a way like picture this as like a nightclub event, to be honest with you. Maybe this would work as like a good house music event night as well, because the font of the style, I think, to be fair, if it didn't say Christmas Stomp, I think people could mistake this for like a house music night, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know, it doesn't really give that like hardcore sort of like font flyer look, but all in all, it's a really, really good design. So anyway, people, so what do I rate this event out of 10? I like to rate these out of 10, and I think I'm gonna give this one about a 7 out of 10, because I had a really, really good night. Everything was like really, really enjoyable about the night. And there was just, like I say, if they just organised the timings and sort of, I guess, like everybody's set a little bit more better, rather than just having different people jumping on and off, that would have probably worked out a little bit better. But I think that just, in all fairness, just loses its 3 points, because, you know, you have a set night. You know, imagine paying somewhere to go, like, you know, and see like a big festival, and then you get told that such and such is going to be on at this time, and then it ends up being somebody completely different at that time. You know, if you can understand it from a customer's point of view, someone who like pays into this rave and goes into this rave, you would kind of be a little bit annoyed. I know I would be, say if I'd gone to Blackpool Festival like I did a couple of years ago, nearly, and you know, if I'd gone there and say I wanted to see Roger Sanchez, which I did on the Friday night, he was supposed to be on at 7, but let's just say, for example, it was then somebody else on at 7, and let's say Roger Sanchez then couldn't make it, or whatever reason, or Roger Sanchez was then moved without any word of warning, and then say Roger Sanchez is now on at a time that you wanted to see somebody else in another room. So in all fairness, you should have a set time, and to be fair, if you're going to make a lineup and an event announcement, you know, you're going to be, I guess, in a way 100% certain that these people are going to, you know, attend the event. I know sometimes if anything, I guess last minute happens, like say someone on the lineup gets an illness, or say for example like, you know, like a family emergency, you can't always help that. But there's a lot of people, for whatever reason, get put down on the flyer, and then a couple of weeks after or a couple of days after they'll say, I can no longer make this now, or something like that. Or you get given a set time and someone will say that set time's no good for me, so then they have to like redo all the set times to work it around that person, and then the way they then work it around that person doesn't always I guess in a way doesn't suit somebody else. So in a way it's you know, I guess in a way like it's hard for an event promoter as well. But I guess, you know, you just got to go with it with your eyes open, I guess, and you just got to take it as it comes. But yeah, I think a 7 out of 10 will really do this event. And as far as Alliance goes, there isn't going to be another Alliance now for quite some time, because there's some other events going down in Scarborough. And a very clever thing what the owner of Alliance has actually done is he's actually taken a break from Alliance for a couple of months to allow these other events to happen. Because the thing nowadays within the rave scene and the music, there's so much like arguments between different events trying to do better than one another. But Alliance has done about 5 events now, and now they're having a little bit of a break. They're letting this other event, they're letting that take its time and have their night, you know, because there's one thing more annoying than having an event on a Friday and then having another event on a Saturday and kind of battling, your event suffering because everyone went to the other event the night before, or you suffering because everybody's maybe had the other event planned for ages, which is on the Saturday, and then they stop in on the Friday to save the money for the Saturday. So what the owner of Alliance has done, he's done very rightly, and he's actually made it very he's done a very good sort of, I guess, deed, and he's let these other events that are going to happen take control and have their moment in the spotlight, I suppose, and then he'll bring Alliance back good and fresh after the new year. I think he did say about May actually, which May I think is a little bit too far if you want the events to do well, but I most certainly think bringing it back sort of like a March type time, I think would probably be a better time in my opinion. Get the Christmas over with, get the New Year parties over with, and then you smash it out from March, and you know, you give some really good events during March and April, and you know, however, or every other month, so like March, May, July, and that sort of thing, and see how it sort of goes. But anyway people, that is going to do it. I thought I'd give you guys the review. That is the review. You've heard the review, you've seen the review. 7 out of 10 for this gig. I want to say a big thank you to Sean Davey for having me down at this event, everybody on the lineup as well who obviously took part in this event, as you know, everybody all did an absolutely wicked job at taking part and making this night definitely a night to remember. As far as bookings go for me, I'm actually involved in a little project that's going to be getting revealed very soon. It's something that's going to be happening just after Christmas that I'm going to be working alongside with. It's something, a blast from the past, and I know the person who's promoting it, and he's asked me to help him alongside. So there will be a spot for me on the lineup, and I'm going to be doing a lot of advertising for this night that's going to happen not long after Christmas. It could be just after New Year, it might even be in between Christmas and New Year, I'm not exactly sure. My guess would probably be just after New Year. It's going to be a nice little blast from the past, and hopefully it's going to work out quite well. And then apart from that, you know, you'll just have to see what I have to announce for you guys. So please like, comment and share. We'll see you guys in the next one.